Guys, if you are interested in starting your Raid Shadow Legends journey from scratch, you can use my link in the description below to be rewarded with a free legendary starter champion, Corrado, who has an AoE block active skills, which is pretty sweet for Arena, as well as 3 epic champions that are fantastic for progression: Fane, Romero, and Vergus, as you progress your account. All right, everybody, Merry Christmas, Happy Christmas Eve. Welcome back to the channel. I am Felrus. Thank you for joining me to play some Raid Shadow Legends today, guys. We have some in-game news this Christmas Eve. We've got a Deck of Fate event for the champion Belz the Reckoner. Now, Belz the Reckoner is a new champion. We're going to take a look at his kit, try to figure out if this guy is worth going for. He's Spirit Affinity HP based. He is a nuker. Nub, who we had on the channel this Sunday, had a video on him and concluded that he was kind of a mid-game champion. So let's take a look at his kit here. He's got a A3 that attacks all enemies, placing a block buffs and a leech on all enemies for 2 turns. Then he fills his turn meter by 5% for each debuff placed. That is pretty good. Block buffs and leech both very good for Hydra. Leech very good for Chimera to complete the trials. He's going to be getting some extra damage from this skill, which probably means it hits hard. And that's on a 3-turn cooldown booked. All right, the A2 attacks 1 enemy. Before attacking, has a buff steal. Steals all buffs from the target there. Will repeat the attack against all enemies if the initial target is under a leech debuff. So he goes in with the A3, places leech on everybody. Then he will attack 1 enemy, which means it probably hits hard. And then he will attack everybody else because he targeted somebody under leech. That's pretty good synergy right there. And the A1 seems pretty bonkers, to be honest. Has a 50% chance of placing a decreased defense for 2 turns, right? Which attacks 1 enemy, will ignore 5% of the target's defense for each debuff on them. Now, I'm thinking that this skill probably hits really, really hard based off of my experiences with the Calamitous. So the Calamitous has a A2 on his second form that before attacking removes all debuffs from this champion, and then damage increases by 10% for each debuff on the target. This skill absolutely smacks. So Belz has something similar where he's going to ignore 5% defense for each debuff on the target. Now, in somewhere like Hydra or Chimera, where you have a ton of debuffs on the target, you can have up to 10, you potentially ignore, 50% defense off of an A1. So if you build him as a nuker, I would imagine that this skill hits pretty hard. If you need an HP-based Spirit Affinity nuker, I don't personally, but if you do, then definitely going for Belz the Reckoner from the Deck of Fate is a very good idea for you, especially if you are a mid-game player, guys. So that starts today as this video is being released, guys. We also have some other in-game news. So if I pull up Plarium Play here, we've got a 2x primal summon boost, okay? So they're doubling your chance of receiving epic, legendary, and mythical champions from primal shards, guys. This is pretty huge. If you have any primals or you are a spender and you buy any primals, definitely be popping them here. You're going to get much, much better champions than normal. Epic, legendary, and mythical champions are all boosted. Usually they only boost like either just the legendaries or just the mythicals. But this is actually a great event because they are boosting all 3, guys. You are going to get very good value for your primal shards over the next 2 days. We will be popping my primal shards on stream tonight. So if you want to join me for that, that will be awesome. We'll have a bit of a shard party. Or if you want your shards pulled, we can pull your shards too. All you have to do for that is message me in Discord using the link in the description below. And we also have a progressive chance here, and it doesn't say in-game on Plarium Play what the progressive chance is, but I do happen to know that it involves Argaz Wild King. So if we go over to the index here, Argaz is a provoker damage dealer, right? So his A3 attacks all enemies with a provoke and a strengthen. He is immune to block active skills and cooldown increasing effects with 1 orc on the same team. Instantly activates whenever an ally's HP drops below 50%. Does not placing it on cooldown. If there are 2 faction allies, and then provoke debuffs placed by this skill cannot be resisted. If there are 3 faction allies, this really works well with the A2. So attacks 1 ally. The damage dealt is equal to 50% of the target's max HP. Or sorry, target's current HP. You drop their HP below 50%, instantly activating this A3 here if you have enough orcs on the team, which should not be too hard to do in Hydra, guys. So we can run him with Shayek, right, the pack master here. He's a mischief tank with a block buffs and a turn meter fill. He's also a hex champion, so he has that very good for Hydra, at least in the mid game. We can also run Varl the Destroyer, who is a fantastic end game nuker for Hydra, so we can run those two with Argaz here and get those instant activations of the provoke. Great for keeping the head of decay provoked, making sure he doesn't cleanse all those debuffs that you are going to be using with Belz the Reckoner. So you could potentially make a very, very solid mid-game orc team with Argaz Wild King, right? He deals really good damage as well. So let's take a look at his passive, back to his kit here. Allies with 50% HP or less deal 30% more damage. One faction ally, allies with 50% HP or less receive less damage. Whenever an ally or enemy dies, increases HP, attack, defense, and speed of all allies by 5%, stacks up to 25%. So you carry a reviver on this squad, and you guys are going to be going super fast, super tanky, taking a lot of turns, and hitting really, really hard with two faction allies. So definitely someone to consider here. This guy is absolutely amazing. Corrodor uses him in Hydra. Of course, three faction allies. Whenever an ally kills an enemy, grants that ally an instant turn. Good for arena, good in waves, all of that kind of stuff. And the A1 attacks one enemy with an AoE heal. So he'll heal all allies with less than 50% HP back to 50% of their max HP. This is absolutely massive. Of course, then he'll be able to get this provoke off again as soon as an ally takes a hit. So this guy is absolutely awesome. He deals a lot of damage. Definitely recommend pulling for him if you can, but if you can't, that's totally fine, right? You can certainly build a solid Orc Hydra team. We are also going to have an undead summon pool, as you can see on the calendar here. Undead summon pool, which includes one of my favorite champions in the entire game, Tribune Heraclides. So I run my Heraclides here in live arena. He is super great, super helpful. He let me beat Amius for the first time. He has an AoE destroy max HP with a shield. He instantly activates it if there are two faction allies whenever he is revived. So you run a reviver like a Sifi alongside of him. Excuse me. His A2 attacks one enemy, ignores 100% defense. That is quite good. And he can spam it because if the target was killed and there are no dead allies, resets the cooldown of this skill. Otherwise, he's going to revive someone on your team. So very, very, very cool skill here. His A1 has a fear. It can't be resisted if he's dead. And then if he's dead, also heals all allies by 20% of their max HP. And on the passive, if he has three faction allies, whenever this champion is dead and an ally attacks an enemy, this champion will join that attack using their default skill. So that is quite good. He gets out a bunch of healing with this. He allowed me to beat Amius for the first time. Definitely someone to go for. So I believe there are free crystals in the Sand Devil tournament. We'll take a look here, but that will be starting today as well at the time that you are seeing this. Definitely going to be going for those. I would love all of those champions. I think Rhodos might pair really well with him in the arena. Yep, we've got Sand Devil crystals here. We're going to be getting soul stones. We're going to be getting gems. We're going to be getting these prism crystals so that you can have a free shot at getting Tribune Heraclides or whatever other undead Lego you so desire, guys. So that is going to be huge. Once again, we're going to be pulling my primals on stream tonight. So hopefully we can get a mythical. Wish me luck in that. If you are free to play, you know, pull whatever primals you have. There's no better time. Maybe you'll get lucky over Christmas. You know, worth holding hope for that. If you are a pay-to-win player, you can go ahead and just buy whatever, you know, primal shards you want. If you're going for the Deck of Fate, which I guarantee will be a summoning event, by the way. We don't know exactly what this is right now, but I guarantee it will be a summoning event, given that there is a super good double 2x event going on at the same time, guys. So definitely be able to pull your primals whenever you can, and you can join me tonight to do that. All right, so I think that's it for endgame news, guys. Let me know if you're going to go for Belz. He certainly seems to be at least a decent champion. Not going to break my back to get him. But if you need a spirit type HP based nuker, absolutely go for that, guys. Thank you for watching the video. I have been Felris, and I will see you in the next one.